Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Video True, and welcome to Rise of Industry, because apparently games about building infrastructure in order to meet market demands are just catnip to me, so here we go I suppose. So welcome to the world, and we need to pick a town that we're going to help to start growing. That doesn't mean it's the only town you can work with. You can expand to cover the entire map eventually with grand networks of rail and boats and even airships. It's just the town you're going to be prioritising at the beginning of the game. And I quite like Aberdovi over here. Yeah, this place looks kind of nice. Plenty of forest over here. Plenty of big flat pasture for farming. Yeah, this place has got it all. This will do lovely. So, let's get used to Aberdovi here, because this place is lovely, very nice houses, but it's also a tiny rural hamlet with a population of 59,000, which, quite frankly, is pretty impressive, because it looks like there's only about 60 or so houses here, so population density, pretty damn high, but nowhere near high enough. We need to help this place grow, damn it. So if we actually have a look-see over at the shops in the town, one farmer's market and one hardware store, click on those guys, open them up, and these are the goods that these guys currently want. The ones at the top have the highest profit margins, the one at the bottom the lowest. But I'm not the only person on the map. There's also 3 AI players who are going to be doing the same thing. So Southwark over here, Minster right here, and down over here in Shoreham, all those towns are going to start developing too, and then we're going to start competing with each other over the rest of the map. So, with a quick glance at what the farmer's market actually needs, that's probably where we want to start, because the farming stuff is the simplest, cheapest stuff in the game to get down. But right now, I can't build any farms at all, because this game has a tech tree. Fortunately, the game gives you a handful of free techs just to start you off, so one of those for me is going to be the wheat field, because wheat was in demand and wheat is nice and simple. So, this is the farmer's market right here. So probably, this part of the world is going to be an excellent place to throw down a whole bunch of farms. Access to plenty of water floating around here, lots of flat space, nothing else floating about. This will do just perfectly. So let's just get a farm down over here, leaving a polite distance around the town so it's got a bit of space to grow, and nice and close by to some water. Because we're going to be needing some water, and we're also going to be needing some fields. So we'll just slap down some fields right here. Absolutely lovely. And here we can see the recipe for producing wheat. So each one of these fields can produce 2 wheat every 35 days. So therefore 6 wheat total from this farm every 35 days. But each field needs to be provided with water as well. And that's how this game goes. Increasingly complicated change of things, needing things, so the fussy plebs in the town next door can eventually have a chicken dinner. So to get water, we're going to be needing a gatherer, and specifically a water siphon. So this thing's not actually collecting the water, it's like a water purifier and storage thing. It's going to distribute the water, but not actually collect it itself. Instead, just like the farm has fields, the siphon has gatherers. So we'll put, one right over here, one right over here, and we could squeeze another one in. We just put it over here, that's absolutely fine. So we now have the ability to produce water, we have the ability to produce crops, and we have a farm that wants to buy the crops. But now we've got to tie them all together. So this water siphon needs to know it's supposed to deliver the water to crop farm 1. And the crop farm, meanwhile, needs to know where to send the crops once they're done. So that needs to be sent over to the nearest available farmer's market. I could send it anywhere on the map, but these ones are much further away, so that wouldn't be a good idea. And now everything will jump into life. The farm isn't going to be doing anything right now because it has no access to water. But the water siphon is good to start gathering water immediately. Or, to be precise, the 3 water pumps are now sucking up the water. Once every 10 days, each of these will produce 1 water, and then as soon as that's done, we'll just speed up time to get that happening, they will ship the water over to the water siphon itself. So, here we go. That gets sent over there, and the moment the water arrives, the game checks, okay, is that water supposed to be sent anywhere else? And it is indeed. It's sent over to the crop farm. So the water is sent over to the crop farm, and momentarily, the crop farm starts to come to life. Beautiful. So we're going to start seeing some crops show up momentarily. We can optimize this slightly, because of course you can. It's a game all about optimization and micromanagement, and I love it. So the water siphon should probably be sending some spare water over to the farm, so the moment this grain is harvested, we can get straight on with the next set of grain. So as a result of that, I would actually like to have a minimum amount of water stored over here, enough for 2 cycles, i.e. the 3 fields being planted 2 times in a row, or 6 water. But don't keep shipping water over there forever, store a bit of water at the water siphon, because we're producing 3 water every 10 days. But the farm only needs 3 water every 35 days, so that water siphon could run 3.5 wheat farms. And on top of that, this place is producing 6 wheat every 35 days, because 3 fields, 2 wheat per field. The town, meanwhile, would like to have 7 wheat every 15 days, or 14 wheat every 30 days, or, you know what, let's just say 16 or so-ish wheat every 35. In short, we need more crop farms. And I'm also going to start laying out these fields a bit more efficiently so we can squeeze a few more farms in a bit more easily. So you guys can just stick around there. And yep, another farm as well. Can just be 1 more over. Water starts getting delivered as fast as we can produce it over to the new farms. So more and more and more grain should start popping up in the world. It's going to be beautiful. Also, I apologise if you're a farmer, because I'm just going to use grain, wheat, various other crops interchangeably for the entirety of this video. I'm very sorry in advance. And hello there, I think we actually just saw the first harvest came in. So the farmer's market, yeah, wants 7 every 15 days. So grain is actually being delivered right now into them. Beautiful. So 3 and 4. And that should be 5 and 6, because pretty much those 3 fields finish simultaneously. And there we go, I've just received a bit of a payday because the 15-day period ended, so now they want another 7, and 0 is currently stored. So that's fine, because momentarily we can start shipping some more grain over there. These 3 farms should be just about enough to keep this place ticking over, and more importantly, get a bit of cash flow coming in. But that's not all they want, of course. Ideally, we'd be able to fulfill all of these needs. But this is where things start getting a bit more on the complicated side. So one of the things they want is mutton from a livestock farm. And that's going to require a couple of things being fed into the livestock farm, including wheat itself. So we're going to be needing plenty of wheat, not just to feed the market, but also to feed any animals we're raising. And if we just go over to the recipe book for a moment, on top of that, sheep don't just produce one thing. They produce 2. They produce mutton, but also wool, at twice the rate that they produce meat. So if we're very lucky indeed, check the other store, the hardware store. Ah, perfect. Not only is wool there, it's currently got the best profit margin in the entire game. So over to the tech tree, and let's get some sheep unlocked. Lovely. And I'm going to drop some money on starting some normal upgrades. So I want to have farm storage up, because that opens +2 crop fields per farm. Very, very useful indeed. So, let's start doing some maths here. So a sheep produces 1 meat and 2 wool every 30 days. Now, assuming a ranch with 3 fields, that's 3 meat and 6 wool every 30 days. But the market wants 6 meat every 15 days. So in short, we need 4 sheep farms to keep up with meat demand. But 4 sheep farms would also produce 12 wool every 15 days, which might be slightly overkill. Yes, indeed, this place only wants 7 every 15 days. And here we need to start looking further afield to see if we can sell that to anybody else. And here we go, Minster would potentially be willing to buy our surplus down to the south. It's a bit of a trip, but they'll do it. And with that, a plan is starting to form up. If I was to set up some big sheep farms in this part of the world, the meat could be shipped along this road to the market. The wool could be shipped onto this road over here to the hardware store, and another road could allow some of the wool to be shipped down here to Minster. Oh, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So, we need up to 4 sheep farms, but how much infrastructure will it take to support that many sheep? Each field needs 1 grain every 30 days, but every field of wheat produces 2 wheat every 35 days, which is about the same. Let's just say that's the same, that's close enough. So as a result of that, a single dedicated wheat farm could supply 2 sheep farms. So I just need 2 grain farms exclusively to provide for my sheep. Now the problem is the water distribution is going to start becoming a problem, because a siphon can only have 3 destinations. So I've unlocked a bit of tech using my 3rd free upgrade, you may have noticed this in the background a moment ago, to actually get myself, hang on, a water tower. These things are extremely important when it comes to farming. So yeah, that can actually collect water from nearby siphons and distribute it without the need for trucks, which keeps a lot of trucks off your road and also is generally a lot easier to handle. So this water tower is going to go right here, and any farm within that white circle can be provided with water automatically, assuming there's enough water to go around. So water siphon, I think you should actually change your destination away from delivering to farms to instead provide to the water tower. Just ship everything to the water tower automatically. And then the water tower will just distribute by itself too. Much more efficient. So, crop farm 4 and 5. Their exclusive job is to produce wheat for the sheep farms. They're all going to be around over here, which is why I've put these guys on a side road, because it means all the vans will be staying off the main road. So, I've started off with 2 here, just because I'd like to get my cash flow sorted out before I spend anything else, because I'm a bit worried about the fact that I've spent about $4 million this month, and I've only got about $4 million left. And I've probably forgotten something, like there's probably not enough water infrastructure. Let's actually check that. So, this farm needs 3 water every 30 days, as does this farm over here, so 6 water every 30 days. Then we need to add in all of these different farms. We got 5 crop farms and 2 livestock farms, so 7 times 3 is 21. We just need to provide 21 water every 30 days. And right now, we're only producing 3 water every 10 days or 9 water every 30. So, we are massively under capacity. Got it. You see, this is why I didn't put down all 4 sheep farms immediately, because I figured something like this might happen. There we go. That should be plenty of water pumps, and I can actually add 1 more pump for another 100,000 to water siphon 3 if need be. So that is now going to be a huge amount of water entering into this place automatically. So hang on, water siphon 3. Yeah, make sure we've actually set that to deliver to the water tower, which I believe water siphon 2 I already did. Yes, everything is going to get sent over to the water tower automatically. It's not going anywhere else. These crop farms, however, need to be manually set. So, yeah, right now, a single crop farm should do for both of these facilities. Meaning the other crop farm can, for the time being, simply send its surplus over to the farmer's market for a bit of extra money. And as for the livestock farms, they need destinations too. The meat is going to be going over to the farmer's market. Just keep sending as much of it as you can. The wool, however, that needs to go over to the hardware store. Love it. So at this point, the trucks out of the water siphons should not cause any trouble on this road whatsoever. Instead, all those trucks will just deliver water to the water tower, staying off the main road. The water tower shouldn't really have much in the way of storage, however, because it's got plenty of places to ship that water to the moment it arrives. So water arrives, immediately gets shipped back out again, this road stays clear. Meanwhile, grain is being produced and shipped straight over in this direction. Lovely. And as soon as those crops are done, those won't be shipped over to the market, they'll be shipped over to the livestock farms that probably already have, yeah, water has already made it over there. The water's been shipped over, and now we're just waiting for the grain. So we just need to wait for that to pop up, and oh, I just love watching it happen. This is just so relaxing to me. This is absolute John catnip right here. And here we go, the grain is now being delivered, and as a result of that, oh yes, people are just, hang on. What are you even doing? What are you doing with your tractor? You're not even doing anything with your tractor. Also, there's an R&D alert. Why have we got an R&D alert? Ooh, because my farm storage is done. Good, thank you for letting me know. That means momentarily we'll be able to upgrade my farms to have +2 fields, so we can actually increase the grain production if need be. And here we go. We've actually got the production of both meat and wool underway. So how are we doing in terms of the amount of money we've made? Because, okay, we made a loss last month, but that's because we haven't yet started producing the wool and the meat. Once the wool and the meat starts being produced, we're going to be absolutely fine. So just check on the state of this over here, and here we go. We should now actually start seeing the first bits being shipped off. And there we go. That'll be meat, and that'll be wool. So the meat goes to the farmer's market, the wool goes to the hardware store. And now if we go over to that, there we go. Wool has actually been delivered. 6 wool already, because we only needed half the farms to get wool, and there's $49,000 right there. So actually, we should be doing... Why am I not seeing green? I was really hoping to see some green here. There we go, green! Green, I actually made a profit. I made a profit. Only $40,000 and I've spent $7 million to do it, but profit is still profit, alright? It hasn't collapsed yet. In fact, now it's looking to me like, yeah, meat is arriving, wool is arriving. This is looking good. I think this is actually fine. Now both farms are actually firing on all cylinders. Everything is working, right? And, hang on. Show me what is and isn't working, please. So, yeah, there we go. Green means stuff is growing. Red means, oh dear, something's gone wrong. I'm missing something and thus I cannot produce. So actually, this automated system is working pretty well. In which case, I now feel pretty good about getting the second set of livestock farms down. So we know what we need to do here. Crop Farm 5, stop shipping to the oversupplied market. Instead, change your destination to these two fields right here. So that's livestock 3 and 4. So my sheep farms are currently not doing anything, but in just a moment, all of the grain trucks are now going to start delivering grain to all of these farms, and all 4 livestock farms are going to jump into life. Oh, look at it. Look at it. It's beautiful. Although I really need to make a bit more money, by the way, because, yeah, I've only got $600,000 left, so that 10 million's gone away. But we should now be shipping... Ah, wait, hang on. No. The road system doesn't make the slightest bit of sense anymore. What we can do is actually we can significantly shorten the trip down to Minster. So if we just actually lay a little spur road down to here. There we go. Now anyone who's taking wool down to Minster can just take a left out of the farm and get straight down onto the highway. Now, I've got a plan here, which is I should probably build one more field on both of these farms. Because, yeah, production for the grain is 35 days, but it's 30 days for the sheep. So I should actually get just a tiny bit of bonus grain coming in, because then we won't run into all of these red lights because there's not enough grain to go around. So a single field attached to each farm should do the job there. Lovely. And the tower's doing okay for now. That's got 14 spare capacity, so I don't need to worry about that. So, from now on, yeah, we've actually got extra wheat growing, so the sheep farms should run a lot more efficiently. So yeah, hang on, I know, but as soon as those fields at the back start coming through, we should be in good shape. So let's just verify that's actually true. So, plenty more grain is now being shipped over there, and now, extra grain having been produced, are we in good shape? Well, I'm certainly seeing less red, and oh, there's a tiny bit of red. There's a tiny bit of red there, but it was for a much smaller period of time. I think we're actually good. And we made nearly $200,000 last month. Okay, that means we're ready to expand operations. In particular, this farmer's market needs to be better served by other bits and pieces. Well, you guys would also like beef, which is interesting, but beef's a bit on the tricky side, because cows also produce... Hang on to the recipe book here. Yeah, cows also produce milk and leather. So, do you guys actually want leather at the hardware store? Yes, you do. In fact, it's quite valuable. Right, so leather could be shipped there. And any chance, does Minster want milk? And Minster does want milk. It's not currently being provided, and it's quite high profit margin. Cows, in fact, are very similar to sheep in many ways. They actually do need, yeah, 1 grain and 1 water per field every 35 days rather than 30. So they actually sync up perfectly with wheat fields, which is actually a lot more convenient. Yeah, actually, this shouldn't be too difficult to do. And in fact, here's the fun thing right here. Crop Farm 3 could be upgraded to have 2 additional fields. As a result, they now have access to 5 fields, which should be enough to maintain 3 cattle farms on their own. So once again, with spur roads to actually get me into the hardware store, and run any surplus down here to Minster, we can set up the cows in this part of the world, with all grain being shipped along this road and thus staying off the main highway. I may have forgotten that I needed to unlock cows. Yes, slight oversight on my part there. We'll get on with that as soon as the potatoes are done. Ah, small problem though. The cattle farms are going to be out of range of the water tower, so we're going to be needing a new siphon or water tower over here to deal with them. And there we go, we've got potatoes. Let's just get potatoes down for some easy money. And there we go, the 5 potatoes immediately start growing. That's going to be, yeah, quite a few potatoes pretty darn quickly. So we can start shipping them over to the market. Should be very easy money right there, while I'm just getting on with researching what a cow is. Right, to ease the pressure on the water situation, which is definitely getting out of hand over here, I'm going to lay down an extra siphon in this part of the world, And that's purely going to be to provide a bit of water to these livestock, and therefore just taking the pressure off this water tower. Okay, things are looking good here. We've got ourselves a prospering town, Aberdovy's going great, and I now know what a cow is. Okay, my first 2 cow farms down over here. This large crop farm is going to feed them what they need in terms of crops. Extra water, coming from a new water tower over here, is going to sort out all of the various animals in this part of the world, which is lovely as well, with 2 new water siphons. And now just to send all of this stuff in the right direction. But with the spur road, the milk only needs to travel 100 tiles. The farmer's market's 50 away, because yeah, we're stretching away from the town right now. So, cows not currently being grown, but that's fine. No grain has been provided. I'm guessing you do have water, by the way. And here we go. Here comes some grain right now. So in comes the grain, and the cows start growing. Beautiful. Plenty of water, plenty of grain off this place. In fact, there should be plenty of surplus grain, because that's enough grain to supply 3 cattle farms. I've only got 2 right now. Probably this is a good opportunity to just let time tick along and make a giant pile of money. And demand of wool plus 32% for 17 months. No, sorry. Well, actually, I could probably afford that. Actually, I am producing wool. Yeah, you know what? I'll bid on that. I'll bid $225,000 on that. Sure, go on then. So we'll see how that goes for me. Speed that up. Is anyone actually going to win that? Yep, there we go. So therefore, wool's going to be more in demand. I've got 4 sheep farms. Excellent. So I think I'm doing pretty well here. So, potatoes are being supplied sporadically, not necessarily quite enough, but some potatoes are being supplied, so that's good. Meat is being supplied, beef is being supplied, grain is being oversupplied actually. We could do with hops. Hops would be good. Hang on, have we actually got hops yet? I think we need to research hops. And we've got hops too. Hops is nice, simple stuff, so we can just get that into production and ship it straight over to the town. Oh, the town is definitely expanding. These houses didn't used to be here. This used to be right on the edge of town. Oh, this is good stuff. This is great. Now, one nice easy one. We could just get a lumber yard down over here and ship some wood straight into town. Shouldn't be a big deal, to be honest. There we go, wood being produced en masse. I've also spent some money planting some new trees, though these guys will replace anything they cut down. Absolutely lovely. So we'll just ship that off straight to the hardware store. Even more stuff coming into the town. Good old mighty Aberdovey. Oh yeah, look at this. Potatoes en masse. Possibly too many potatoes, actually. We've got grain coming in. We got meat. We got hops. We got everything, pretty much. I am starting to get a bit worried about the level of traffic, though. Sooner or later, that's going to start being a problem. And also, people want fish, apparently. So I believe, hang on, show me resources, please. Yep, there's fish up here. Let's go get ourselves some fish. That's finite, we can totally fish it out, but I kind of don't care. So, fish are now being shipped into town as well, together with the potatoes. As soon as the olives are done, we'll get an olive plantation down over here, and everything will be looking lovely. There we go, 2 new olive plantations right at the edge of the main area, within the actual water region, and yep, that's actually doing okay for now. Water situation is under control. Now here's interesting. The permit for Holyhead next door. Now, Holyhead, only 1.48 million. I can very easily afford that, which is good. And that is just next door. And it looks like, actually, it's got a bunch of gas, oil, copper, other finite resources that I actually don't have too much of inside my territory. So that's worth bidding on. And it looks like, actually, I might be about to get that one, hopefully. And there we go. I have won the permit for Holyhead. So all these resources now belong to me too. Love it. Oh, we might have reached a bit of a bad moment though. Okay, I took my eye off the ball of the traffic just a little bit. I thought everything was fine, but it's not. And also pollution's getting out of hand because of all the trucks. Right. Okay, so guys, we need to come up with a plan for this. I should have automated all of this earlier. I mean, the bad maintenance and road speed being down isn't helping with this, but this has just flagged a bigger problem I should have dealt with sooner. So, we should start setting up a system of warehouses, so we don't have trucks just arriving one by one at the farmer's market. and just emptying stuff into it. Here we go, logistics, central hubs to distribute products among buildings within its radius or between other warehouses using logistics requests. Yes, this seems like the good sort of thing I should have built a while ago, absolutely. What I'm going to say going forward is literally everything gets sent through a warehouse, with the exception of water that's going to water towers or grain that is going directly into farms to feed animals. Everything else does not go straight to town, instead it gets sent to a warehouse. So, central warehouse number 1, located right here, nearby to the food market. And also we're going to provide this place with a nice road that leads straight through to the other side of town so they can also deliver to, the actual hardware store without having to go through town directly. So that's going to be just fine right there. So people come in there and they go out there. Now, time to set some rules for this thing. For example, this farm over here will now automatically deliver to the warehouse. So will this potato farm right here, and with the second warehouse put down over here, everything in the entire empire will now end up inside a warehouse, with the exception of the fish, which will simply be sent directly to the market, and also the wood, which will be sent directly to the hardware store, but this isn't really where the traffic is. The problem with traffic is right over here. So, let's get time ticking along here. So, everybody, stop driving to the market. Here we go. Plenty of people now driving into there, though hang on, oh. The fact that the exit road is right there is not necessarily good. Oh, that's... I may have just made things worse rather than better. Yes, I think I've just made things much worse. It's going to take a little bit of time to actually, you know, get all this through the system. Everyone just needs to figure out the new system. It's going to be fine. Because this place handles potatoes, grain, and some but not all sheep products. So I'm actually going to say, don't bring in the sheep over here. That doesn't actually help me very much. So I'm going to, not accept goods from those guys. I would like you to send 7 and only 7 grain to the farmer's market. If there's more available than that, store it in the warehouse. And please do the same to the potatoes. Once again, send it to the farmer's market, but only send the amount required, store the rest inside the warehouse. As a result of that, the amount of traffic should hopefully start going down. Okay, the sheep are now being run through warehouse 2. The potatoes and grain are now being run through warehouse 1. So, I'm hoping as soon as we just get through the... Oh, hello! We've actually managed to get to a town upgrade. You see, I've done it. So, the hamlet wants to become a village. But for that, it's going to be needing wall panels and also bricks. Right, well, so far you've just been asking for food, so that's a bit of a step up. No, forget about that. Forget about that. What I want to do is just sort out the problems with traffic, which actually I might be better served doing just by upgrading the roads a bit. Does this look better or worse to you? Because I think I've made it worse rather than better. Yeah, in particular with this system round over here. This wasn't a good idea at all. Okay, we're gonna build a bypass. So anyone coming in from this direction can just actually take a shortcut to... No, take a shortcut. That was the whole point. Guys, you want to go around that way, don't you? Oh, but I can't restrict them from going this way. Otherwise, they'd be physically incapable of actually getting to... but... No. Yes, I can. Okay, I know how to do this. So you guys are actually going to come around here and then into here, because you're not actually going to have a choice anymore. So, you guys have fun with that. The fish now have no choice but to go round the long way. Love it. Okay, that seems to have eased things a little bit. And urban roads are now available. Okay, upgraded road network, and it's definitely working faster than it was. That's definitely true. And some people are going really, really long way round, actually. Okay, we can fix that. I see part of the problem in the network right here. You guys need a shortcut to get to the food market. So now, they'll figure it out in a moment. Their sat-navs will let them know what's going on. Anytime they're... Oh, hello, what's that? Price of wood up. I'm not sure I'm really selling much in the way of wood, but go on, sure, I'll buy that from ya. Come on, guys, figure it out. You can figure it out. There's a nice shortcut to the food market right now. And, oh, I lost that. Someone else got it. Boo. Oh, I think it's all working. It's actually all working. Check the money here. I made $500,000 last month. I am a genius at this game, as it turns out. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I think you kind of get the point, or rather, I think you probably grasp the scale that we're talking about here. Because all of this was just basic farming, setting up the absolute basic infrastructure that allows a hamlet to want to become a village. I haven't even touched any of the actual production yet. All of this was just farms. We haven't touched factories. We've barely touched logistics. We haven't looked at pollution, because obviously when we get into factories, pollution is a much bigger issue. And then ultimately, prototypes, producing cars, computers, and chicken dinners, because apparently those three things are equally complicated. Who bloody knew? But yeah, there's a lot to do here. So this here is Rise of Industry, and yes indeed, it is just a big optimization, infrastructure, buildy sort of thing, all about roads, warehouses, logistical routes, all that good stuff. Yeah, for the right sort of person in the right sort of mood, this is glorious. It's absolutely beautiful. I suspect we will see this again, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Rise of Industry. Thank you very much, and goodbye. I've created a small problem in my road system, which is it's literally impossible for anyone to ever go back into town. And this building shall be where we produce our zebras. And this much taller building next door is naturally where we produce the giraffes. Does anyone remember how the road system went? I think it was something like this.